Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Keith once again with Craps TX. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up for us. Helps us out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit that bell for notification. That helps you out to know when the next video comes out. So on this one, today we're going to do, it's just a variation of 66 inside. Just a pressing strategy. It's called 84 and 3. So you start out with 66 inside, and after 3 hits, you regress back down to 66, and you have $84 profit. So let's get this out of the way first. We got $700 here. There's 5, 6, 50, 75, and 7. So we'll get that out of the way. I mean, you can start out with 500 or so, but I mean, if you consider that you're starting out with 66 inside, you want enough for 10 shooters. That's 660, so I just rounded up to 700. But the way that I read it, when I found it, it showed 500 buy-in for a $5 to $15 minimum table. This is going to be a $15 minimum table. So again, like I said, we start out with 66 inside. That is fairly simple. There we go. 15. Nope. Yep. 15, 18, 18, and 15. There you go. That's 66 inside. Your first hit, you're going to collect $21. You're going to throw in $1 to make it 22. Then you're going to press up each one of these by that amount, and you'll now have 88 inside. Okay. So hopefully, if you know the game just a little bit, you can kind of see where this is going. So with 88 inside, that's 20, 24, 24, and 20. Each one of these are going to pay 28. So the next hit pays 28. I'm going to need some more red chips. Hang on 1 second. Excuse me. Nothing like being prepared before the video starts. So we'll get some more red chips. So yeah, like I said, that next one pays 28. We'll go ahead and pay it out in red. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 25. 6, 7, and 8. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to press each number up by 1 unit. So 5, 6, 6, and 5. That is going to take us to 110 inside. So you're going to have what? 25, 30, 30, and 25. I think that's 110. Yeah, that's 110. All right, and then the rest you'll just collect. And then, obviously these are going to be green chips. They'll take them down to the green chip level. But on that 110, what did I say? 25, 30, 30, and 25. Or is it 30 or 35? That's 30. That's going to pay 35. 25 is going to pay 35. So it pays 35. Let's just, we'll pay it out like that. And then you're going to regress back down to 66 inside. So we'll see what we have left over after that. Take these back down to 18 and 15. And you'll see why they call it what they call it, which is 84 and 3. So there's 25 and 50, 75, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know where we went wrong, but we're supposed to get up to 84. Maybe I missed a nickel somewhere. No. Whatever. Well, we make mistakes. Well, yeah, there's another $6 sitting over here. So that's, what did I say, 74, 75, 80. It's supposed to be 84. Whatever. Let's go ahead and get started. That'll be easier. Maybe I missed a step. Hang on, let me check my notes. 66, collect. On the third hit of any number, collect the 35 winnings and take everything back down to 66. You now have $84 in profit. Oh, well, that because you had some profit on some of the other hits. Like the 28, you only used 22, so the $6 more. That's where the 84 comes in. So yeah, let's just play it. I'm sorry, that was probably painful to watch, but yeah, that's me figuring things out as we go along. I have not tested this one out, but I've played 66 inside many times. I've started out with 110 inside. I've pressed up to 88 inside before, so hopefully that'll make this a little easier. We're not going to be the shooter on any of these, so let's just go ahead and get a set of dice and get this thing started. All right, so everything is open. We have the puck off, new shooter, looking for a point. We have a come out roll, and we have a square pair, a hard 8. So, oops, wow, that probably just shook the whole thing. All right, there is an 8 as the point, so we're going to throw out $66 and ask the dealer to place us 66 inside. There's 65 and 70. So we'll get some change here. $4 to be exact. Put that in our rack, and then we'll set up the 66 inside. Again, 15, 18, 18, and 15. And now we're looking for 3 hits. That is kind of a tall order sometimes, especially if it's a choppy table, but that's the way this particular strategy is worded, and that's what we're going to try to do. So there is a aces. Spot and a dot. Doesn't help us, doesn't hurt us. There's a hard 4, so we got 2 singles and now 2 doubles. And now we have an 8. 5, 3, 8. All right, point is going to be hit. More importantly, we get paid. That 18 is going to pay 21. We're going to throw in $1 from our rack and just tell the dealer to press this up by 1 unit on each number. And then we'll do that. That takes us to 20, 24, and 24, and 20. All right, points off, bets are off. You can work the come out if you'd like, especially given the fact that you need 3 hits, but we're just going to ride it. Whenever the puck is off, we're going to follow that, and then we'll have our bets off as well. 3, 2, 5, that is our new point. We've had 1 hit. We're looking for 2 more. And there is another square pair, hard 8. 24 is going to pay 28. We'll pay that in red. There is 25, 6, 7, and 8. You tell the dealer once again, press me up by 1 unit on each. So we're now at 25, 30, 30, and 25, or 110 inside. We can clean that up as I make a mess of my stacks back here. Well, let's just put soap on everything and make it slippery. That's what she said. So let's get this cleaned up as well. That way we don't have just stacks of chips out there. We want stacks of chips on our rack. That's where we want them. Oh, man, they're just avalanche city back here. Again, one of these days I'll get a rack for the chips back here. But I'd like to build some walls first, which I've got a little bit of lumber, but it doesn't match this lumber. All right, and then now we have $6 we're going to put over in our rack. We'll just keep it out here to the side so we can kind of see what we have on an ongoing basis. And that is 3 hits, so we're looking, oh, I'm sorry, was that 2 hits? That's 2 hits. We're looking for the 3rd so we can regress, all right? There we go, 3, 2, 5. 5 is our point. That puck is going to go off. 25 is going to pay 35. And at this point, you're going to tell the dealer to take you back down to 66 inside. Kind of redundant that I put all these to green when I'm going to take them right back down to the red and white level. But that's what we're going to do. So let's get 66 first of all. There is 65 and 70. So we'll do that. We'll get 4 change. 75, 6, 7, 8, 9. 79 and 6 is 85. So I don't know why it's called 84 and 3 if we get 85 back. Unless I'm just missing something or doing something completely wrong, which is always a possibility. There we go. We're back down to 66. Now you can just repeat, or you can do whatever press and collect strategy you'd like. You know, maybe throw that 4 and 10 in there because, you know, that 4 comes up. There's a 1, 3, 4. The 4 is going to be our new point. We do have our 66 inside that we regress to. We've got our 80 something dollars over here, 85. And we're just going to, whoa, got to use the right end of the stick there. We're going to keep on rolling here. There's a 3, 2, 5. 5 is 8. That's 15. Going to pay 21. Now, again, we can do whatever we want. We can do that whole strategy over again, or we can maybe press the numbers individually. That's what I'm going to do this first time around. I think I'm just going to press the numbers individually. So I've got 15 over here. I do want to take that to 35, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll just collect that dollar. Let's consolidate that a little bit, and then we'll also do that with the 5. That gives us 35 on the 5. That's just the route that I'm going to take. So you can do it however you want after that initial that initial 3-hit thing, the press, 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 and then regress, or press, press, and then regress. Anyway, we've got a 5, 2, 7 out now on this shooter, so we did get our money back on that shooter, but it is now over for this one, and we're going to have to go on to the next shooter and see what we can do. So like I said, we did get our profit. We got our 75, 80, 85, $86. We'll just put that all back in the rack as messily as possible. I try to stand these up, but they end up falling down half the time, so that's kind of why I just lean them in there. Plus, like, my table has a bridge right there. It's a picnic table, so it's folded and it's all, you know, in half and whatever, and the little things are slid in there, but it just makes a little bit of a hill there. Nothing there. We'll just take the aces there. New shooter, looking for a point. We're coming out 314. 4 will be our point, and we're going to throw out $66. And see, I just slippery fingers too. That just kind of ruins everything. There's 65 and 66. Dealer set me up 66 inside. And I'll take care of you. I'll see if I can't speed this up a little bit, but hopefully, I mean, it's not that difficult of a strategy, at least not in my eyes. And like I said, I'm a 1-year novice, a little over 1 year now playing craps. So yeah, there we go. 66 inside. We're looking for 3 hits on those inside numbers. That's 6, 4, 10. That's not going to help us. And a 5, 1, 6. That'll help. So 18 pays 21. And if you remember, we're just going to throw in an extra dollar from our rack, makes 22, and tell the dealer to take each number up by 1 unit. So you're going up 5, 6, 6, and 5. And we're now up to 24, or I'm sorry, 20, 24, 24, and 20. Or 88 inside. So we went from 66 to 88. Dice are out. There's a 5, 3, 8. All right, that's another hit. 24 is going to pay 28. We're going to do the exact same thing. Dealer, take me up by 1 unit on each. And then we'll rack the rest, which is $6. Might not take these down to the green. We can. I mean, there's 25, that's 30, that's 30, and that's 25. So we know what happened last time. We're just going to have to reset that up again. So let's just leave it like that. We have 110 now. 110 inside. This will be our last hit before the regression. So that's a 6, 2, 8. That 30 is going to pay 35. And then we're going to tell the dealer to take us back down to 66 inside. So I left that out there to make it a little easier. Take 2 off of each. And we should be able to get something back. All right. Well, we are going to get something back, but we should be in the clear now. So 25, 50, 75, 6, 7, 8, 9, 79, and 6 makes 85. So this should be called 85 and 3. It's called 84 and 3, but it should be called 85 and 3. But it was on the internet, so it's got to be true, right? Anyway, sometimes you just can't trust a Reddit post. All right, there we go. So now we are clear to do whatever we want. We've done our 3 hits and our regression. We can choose to press and collect however we'd like. We are out of the hand. 6, 5, 1, 6. That 18 is going to pay 21. And as I said, we can kind of do anything we want. So I'm just going to press the individual numbers. I'm going to take 6 up to 42. So I'm going to throw in $3. I don't have 3, but there's a 5, and I'll get 2 and change. So that's $24 now. I'm going to tell them to take my 6 up to 42. All right, there's 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 40, no, 30, 35, 40, yep, and 2. There we go. So just pressing individual numbers right now. Again, you can do whatever you want. You can pick up that 4 and 10 if you'd like. There's a 3, 2, 5. 15 is going to pay 21. We are at a $15 table, so we'd only be able to cover one of the numbers if we chose to pick the 4 or the 10. I'm just going to press up that individual number. So I'm going to take that up to 35. There's 5 red, 40 green, and then I'll just collect that $1. 3, 2, 5. All right, we're right back on that 5. 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. So now we have a decision to make. We can either press up that, we can press up the sister number. I'm just going to press up the numbers that are hitting. So I'm going to take 5 up to 60 now, and I'll rack a quarter. We now have 4 green, so we'll swap that out for a black. We're up $105 on this shooter. 516. All right, that is a good one. That's the one we just hit, right? 42. No, we hit this one. 42 is going to pay 49. You see kind of what I did. I like getting up to that level where we hit 50, right? So 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. And then now I'll take this $42 and tell the dealer to take me up to 60. So that is 2 green and 2 red, and then we will rack $32. So far, shooter number 2 is doing this fairly well until now. Until they don't, right? 5-2 and we're through. So we're done for this shooter, but shooter number 1 and shooter number 2 did us okay. We got into the profit on both shooters. Of course, everything, I have to say it pretty much every video, at least lately, we're always subject to the dice. You know, so what is this? 125, 130, 135, 137. So that's not bad. From 66 to 137, so we got our 66 back and then some. And let's get us a new set of dice. I'm not really keeping track of shooters, but I believe we are on shooter number 3 because we had just 2 shooters thus far. That's some weird math. We just had 2 shooters, so we're on shooter number 3. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, there is a hard 4 that is going to be our point again. The 4, which is fine with me. We'll throw out $66. Dealer, please place me 66 inside. We all know how that's done. Or if you're a first-time viewer, first of all, thank you. Secondly, 66 inside is 15, 18, 18, and 15. All of these, the 4, 5, 9, and 10 are increments of 5 because that's the way they pay out. 9 to 5, 7 to 5, 7 to 5, and 9 to 5. The 6 and 8 are in increments of 6 because they pay 7 to 6. So just in case you didn't know. If you didn't know, now you know, right? There we go. 66 inside. Now we're looking for 3 hits. 3 inside hits, please. There is a 6, 4, 10. Seemed like deja vu. Seemed like we did that last time. There is a 5, 4, 9. All right, 15 is going to pay 21. What are we going to do? We're going to throw in $1. Dealer, please take me up 1 unit on each number. So that's going to be 5, 6, 6, and 5. We're now up to 88 inside. Starting out with 66. We're playing with the profits, getting the profits to help us out to get up to where we need to be. 5, 3, 8. 24 is going to pay 28. This is now going to get us to the level where we need to be, and then our next hit will regress if we're so lucky. But there's 28, and we're just going to press up by 1 unit on each number. And then we'll collect $6. So we're now up to 25, 30, 30, and 25, or 110 inside. Like I said, we're just going to kind of leave it on the red and white. We can regress or, put it down to the green level just to kind of clean things up. But it's a little bit of work, and we kind of want to get through this and show you how this strategy works. That was a 3-1-4. That's point hit. Nothing there. So we are looking for a new point, same shooter. 6, 3, 9. 9 will be the new point. And we just need 1 more hit, please, on the inside numbers. There we go. Hard 8. All right, that 30 is going to pay 35. Right? Right. You know what? I think I paid myself 25 last time. What did I do? 30. 30 pays 35. There's 25, 30. 35. No, I was paying myself 35. I was just doing it with a quarter and 2 nickels. That's what the deal was. Okay, so 35. So now, dealer, please take me back down to 66. So you're going to take 2 units off of each number. A little bit of work for the dealer, so make sure you're taking care of your dealers. And then we will rack 25, 50, 75, and 79. 79 plus the 6 that we racked already is 85. And I think we've determined we're going to rename this 85 to 1, or 85 in 3 rather. So we're trying to get to $85 in 3 hits, and we did. 85, or I'm sorry, 75, 80, and 80, 85. There we go. Let's keep on going. Shooter number 3, right back on that square pair. 18 is going to pay 21. Now we're at our own discretion. We can do whatever we want. Of course, you can do whatever you want regardless. But that's just the way the strategy is written out. 3 hits, get it up from 66 to 110. Whenever you hit on that 110, collect and go back down to 66. So what did we hit? The 8. All right, so I'm going to throw in $3. We won $21, so I'm going to throw in 3. That takes up to 24. 24 and 18 is 42, so I'll ask the dealer to take me up to 42 inside. Or I'm sorry, 42 on the 8. There's 5 red for a green. 25, 30, 35. Well, we got to get it right? There's 5 white for a red. There's 40 and 2. So now we're up to 42 on our 8. And we are playing with profit, house money, your money, however you want to call it. There is an ace deuce, does not help us. One of these I'm going to spread out to the 4 and the 10, but we're not going to get to do anything on this one. There is a 4, 3, 7, so we're done with this shooter. Didn't do us as well as the last ones, but we did get our initial investment back, so we're still in Profitsville for now. Don't poke it with a stick or anything. So we'll put our $85 back up. And we'll get a new set of dice. What are we looking on time? 22. This is probably going to be our last shooter. We were fortunate enough to have a couple of good shooters, so not going to get to go through a large amount of shooters like we might normally. There's a 617, unless of course we go to a part 2, which that is always a possibility. There's a 549. 9 will be our new point. We're going to throw out $66. Or in this case, we'll just go ahead and put out 75. Dealer, please place me 66 inside. You'll get $9 back. And you'll set up 66 inside. And there we go. Should be able to just press a button and have the chips come out. Kind of like electronic craps. All right, we're looking for 3 hits. 3 hits inside. There is a 415. 15 is going to pay 21. This is where we throw in the extra $1. Whoops. We throw in the extra $1 and tell the dealer to take us up 1 unit on each number. So, again, I know this is getting redundant, but if you need the visual, there it is. We're putting each one up by 1 unit. So 5, 6, 6, and 5. We're now up to 88. 88 inside. We need 1 more hit to get to our goal of 110. There's a 639. That's going to be point hit. Better yet, it gets us up to that 110 level because 20 is going to pay 28. There's 25 and 6, 7, 8. We're going to do the same thing. Take us up by 1 unit on each number. And we'll collect $6. All right, so we'll put that all away, get it set up. So we're at 25, 30, 30, and 25, or 110 inside. Points off, puck is off, the bets are off, and we're looking for a new point. Same shooter. 3, 2, 5. All right, we need that 1 more hit inside so that we can take it back down to 66, and we're not going to get it. All right, so I knew that was going to happen eventually. There is a 4, 3, 7, so we are done with this shooter. And where are we at? 24 minutes. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here. We'll go ahead and kind of take a look. I think we're in profit, so we'll take a look and see where we're at and decide if we're going to go on to a part 2 of this one if we need to. I think it's a fairly uncomplicated strategy, so don't know that we'll have to carry on to a second one. So let's go ahead and get all these chips out here and color up and see where we're at. There is 4 white, that's okay. There's 5 red for a green. Well, and we got 4 green for a black. And we got 5 black. I think we got a purple. Yep, we got a purple, so we'll take a purple. So we got 5, 6, 7, 25, 30, 35, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 744. So we started out with $700. You can see we only ended up with 44. It seemed like we had those first 2 shooters were pretty good. But shooter number 3, I think barely got us even. And then that last shooter, which I think we only went through 4 shooters. That last shooter, obviously we didn't get into the profit at all. So that kind of ate into probably what would have been closer to $100 profit. So yeah, 7, what did I say? Wait, that's 8. No, that's 7. Okay, I'm sorry, that's purple. There we go. 5, 6, 7, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 44. 744. So it's called the 84 and 1, which we're going to rename it the 85 and 1 because you end up with $85 or 85 and 3. I don't know why I keep saying 1. It was called the 84 and 3, but it should be the 85 and 3 because you end up with $85. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I don't know. I'm kind of nonplussed really about maybe taking this to a second one. I've got some other strategies to roll out, so maybe we'll just try another strategy and just leave this one as a solo. How about that? 66 inside is fairly common, and then taking it up to 88 and then 110 and then back down to 66 again is probably fairly common. It was just written up in a post, and I just happened to pull it out and say, hey, let's go ahead and try this one. Because it does kind of get you back to the basics, and any kind of reminders like that are good, because if you're playing some complicated strategy and it's not working out for you, go back to the basics. 66 inside is a basic strategy for a $15 table. So thank you. If you've got any other comments or anything that you don't want to put in the public forum, you can email us here at crapstx@gmail.com. We really look forward to those, and I try to answer, which I do answer all of them that I get. We only get a handful at this point, but that's fine. We do appreciate all of the subscribers and viewers that we have thus far. Again, I can't thank you guys enough. It's really fun putting this together, and I hope that we're all learning something a little bit here and there. And yeah, I'll continue to do it as long as I've got the will to keep playing the game and keep learning the game, which I do. So I'm going to keep doing it. So this is CrapsTX. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that thumbs up on your way out. That helps us out a ton. Subscribing helps us out a ton. And then hitting that bell for notifications, that helps you out so that you know when the next video is out. Again, thank you so much for watching. This has been the 85 and 1. My name's Keith. I'll see you on the next one.